How do we know our children are learning? Is it based on the grades that they're getting in school? Because you and I know most children study just before an examination and it's almost forgotten after a week. So that the grade that they got in that examination is not an information on how much they know. How do we get our children to learn for the sake of learning? How do we get them to understand what are they doing now, what they do now has an impact on their future? How do we do this? I've come across two books that provide this valuable information. The first book is A Growth Mindset, and the second book is A Nature Shock. Both these books agree on one thing, that is that we should not praise talent, intelligence, ability, and so on. Instead, we should praise effort, strategy, and process. What I mean by this, I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a student who doesn't do well in math and has worked very hard for the paper, did his best, and comes back with the results which are not very good. If you say you've done poorly, the child doesn't know what to do better than this. But instead you tell the child that you've worked very hard, you need to change the way you're studying, that's a strategy, and the way, processes, repetition that you need to do, practice you need to do, that's a process. Then the child has a recipe or a method that they can improve in the subsequent examination. Similarly, let's say you have a very brilliant child, and it scores 100 in the board exams. If you tell this child you're intelligent, you are a born genius, and so on, the child doesn't know what it can do to repeat that. And if you ask the child to give an Olympiad level paper, a JEE paper, or a NEET paper, and so on, KVP level paper, the child is scared to give this examination because it doesn't know what it can do to duplicate or replicate the intelligence level required for those examinations. Instead, you have told this child that you worked very hard, you have a very good strategy for preparing for an examination, your process of study is very good. He or she knows that I can use these things to prepare for the Olympiad level papers, the NEET level papers, JEE level papers, or any papers that you can want to give. So we need to realize that whatever is praised, appreciated, looked upon, gets repeated. So if you tell the child that efforts are appreciated, process is appreciated, strategy is appreciated, they tend to repeat it. And that is what we want. And then they will learn for the sake of learning. There's one more thing that I got away from this book, and it's very important, is the power of yet. So let's say you have a child who's struggling with mathematics. And you tell them, you're struggling today, but one day you won't. The power of yet. Let me explain this to you. Let's say you have a child who is in high school. If you ask them, do you find today your 5th standard mathematics or 4th standard mathematics easy? They would definitely say yes. If your child is in PUC, they'll definitely find high school level mathematics easy. So one day, no matter what they're struggling on today, will become easy with effort and practice. So if they're struggling in mathematics today, I cannot figure this out, they have to add yet. I cannot do this today, yet. By saying these words, you're changing the mindset from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. What is a fixed mindset? A person who thinks he cannot change. I don't like challenges, I'm either good at this or not, don't give me feedback, I cannot improve, this is not for me, and so on. What's a growth mindset? Is a person who thinks that if challenges makes me better, failure is an opportunity to grow, feedback helps me where I can improve on, and so on. So we generally think only students have a fixed mindset, but that's not true. As parents, we have fixed mindsets, teachers have fixed mindset. As a parent, if I tell a child, you're either good at this or not, then I have a fixed mindset. Give an example for a parent being a fixed mindset. To all parents out there, if I ask you, by the end of next year, that's 2021, can you run a marathon? Very few will tell me, I can. That's 42 kilometers. But you and I know that in the world, there are people in their 80s, in their 100s who have never run in their life running a marathon today. We too have our fixed mindset, and we push our fixed mindset on our children. And by doing this, we stop them. So after I read this book, I've realized that I could be a better husband, a better parent, a better teacher, a better employer, a better friend, and so on. Does it mean I've changed fully? Absolutely not. I'm also in the process of improving. So no matter who you are who's listening to this video, you can change and you can improve and you can achieve what you want, provided you take on a growth mindset. If you like this video, please like and subscribe this channel. Thank you.